Dirk! Middle of nowhere. Maybe some of that castle knows. Hey, Dirk! Well, this is not my place to be. Whoa! Today's episode of Glen's Retro Show is brought to you by DNA Dimension Designs, the best custom retro gaming decals in the game. Period.
Glen's Retro Show is also brought to you by Arcade Graphics. Looking to spruce up your arcade one-up home arcade machine with a fantastic look? Be sure to look at arcadegraphics.com today.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining me on today's edition of Glen's Retro Show. Today I want to talk about an arcade machine that came out in 1983. Although some people never really considered it an actual video game, in my opinion it is, and it definitely has left a mark and a legacy that carries to this day. That game is Dragon's Lair. Now Dragon's Lair was an interactive movie. There was a laser disc where you basically moved Dirk the Daring around your screen with the joystick and hit your sword with the button. But it wasn't a true video game in the sense of what people expected of the time. I mean, back in 1983, you had games like Atari's Star Wars Arcade, which was a vector style game. Then you had other raster style games like Spy Hunter that was out in 1983. But the first time I saw Dragon's Lair, I was at a mall in Mount Kisco, New York, and I saw this arcade cabinet and tons of people all around it. And I was able to see the screen, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The graphics, the sound, everything was phenomenal. But of course you weren't actually directly controlling the character. You simply at certain points of the game made a selection for Dirk the Daring to make his next move. Now Dragon's Lair, like I said, is still continued all the way to this very day. It even had its own cartoon for a while. Wasn't quite as good as the arcade game, but it did have it. Now the game itself wasn't really properly able to be done, you would think, with the equipment in video games of the era. The Atari 2600, 5200, those type of machines, and television. Now, in the later years, there were ports to them. You can get Dragon's Lair on the NES, which was not very good. They made Dragon's Lair. Really, the Amiga is the first machine I could think of that had a really, really good port, as best it could be done in that time frame, running off of floppy disks, no less. But the copy protection on that thing was so bad, you constantly had errors with the game. But later on, you were able to copy it to your hard drive, and it was a very good version of Dragon's Lair by ReadySoft. But the actual first real versions of Dragon's Lair, like Laserdisc copies of the game, that I can recall was on the 3DO Interactive Multiplayer. And it was a really good port. It was also then on the Atari Jaguar that came later, the Nintendo Wii. So eventually, even on cell phones now, you were able to get compression enough to get the game on those type of systems. But to get something on an older machine, like from 1981, 82, 83, pretty much seemed impossible. Now, if you can see over here on the screen, I do have a video from my friend Vectrex Roli, who actually had got a copy of Dragon's Lair, believe it or not, for his Sinclair SX, I think it's the 81, which is basically the Timex Sinclair 1000 here in the States. And someone was actually able to get the game. There's no sound, it's not color, it's very, very limited. But it was a direct port of the Laserdisc to that system. And it just blows my mind that someone was able to do that in that system. I was blown away recently, again, where a gentleman on Atari Age said he was making a version of Dragon's Lair for the TI-99 4A computer. Now, the TI-99 4A computer was the very first 16-bit computer of the era. The TI-99 4 came out in '79. And the 4A came out in 1980. It really wasn't basically the first 16-bit machine, but it was actually limited by a lot of what they call glue logic, because originally the computer was supposed to be an 8-bit machine. They had a problem with the processor and they put in a 16-bit CPU. But the TI's hardware was pretty good for the era. In fact, the hardware went on to become the ColecoVision, and then later on the Coleco Atom computer system. And everyone will pretty much tell you how good the graphics and sound capabilities are on there. And there actually was a version of Dragon's Lair on the Coleco Atom, which, again, was really not a direct port of the arcade machine, but still pretty good for the time. But that hardware, you never would have thought would have gotten a direct port of a Laserdisc game. Well, I do have a gentleman here who was on Atari Age. His company was called Harmless Lion. He actually did port, and I have right here, a limited copy of Dragon's Lair for the TI-99 4A. Now, what's pretty cool about this will run on a stock TI-99 4A computer with 16K of RAM, and its normal 16-color video and sound chip. But if you do have an enhanced TI with the F18A VGA adapter plugged in, it will take advantage of that. And actually, I have all the different TIs here, but I am going to show this on my VGA-equipped F18A TI. So let's do a little quick unboxing here of Dragon's Lair and take a look at the game. Now again, I'm going to tell you, I am not very good at Dragon's Lair, Space Ace. I was never good with those type of games. But I'll show you what I can, and we'll do an unboxing. So let's take a look at Dragon's Lair for the TI-99 4A computer. Okay, so this is what I got in the mail. And again, I got this off of Atari Age by the gentleman who runs Harmless Lion. And even the box that you get is kind of blowing me away. He did a beautiful job here with this box. I mean, it does look like something you would have gotten in the later years of the TI, basically when it went to the gray version of the TI. The box looks really, really good. Daphne looks a little crazy though in this picture, like she can pretty much kill you if you're not looking at her nicely. But Dirk looks pretty good, and the artwork just looks great. The box just looks very, very nice. Let's see, even on the back here, the quality of the cardboard is again something you would have felt back in the day. But it basically gives you a quick rundown of Dragon's Lair. Got some screenshots here, and that's really it. Now, what's kind of cool, let's see, is not only the outside of the box, the nice job that he did, but let's see what we have inside the box. So let's open this thing up here. And this is what's kind of neat too. He also made the inside of the box as cool as the outside of the box. I mean, this right here looks like, whoop, I got some stuff that fell in the way. Let's move that stuff out for a second. Technical difficulties. But if you look at the box here, this looks like what you would have gotten on the original TI cartridges. They went on the shelf. I mean, that just looks really, really good. I mean, he put a lot of effort into this, and I'm just really impressed with everything he did here. This looks really, really good. Now you can see right here, this is an official, you can see by right here, this game was officially licensed and allowed by Don Bluth Productions here. And move the camera just a smidgen here to get it better framed. There we go. So it's officially licensed. We got the right here to know that this was done by Mike Brent, Harmless Lion. So that's kind of cool, and got a nice thing to put on the wall here or something like that, or frame that. That's kind of nice. We have the game card here. We'll take that aside for a second. Let's pull these things out of the box. So you can see even inside the box, it did a really, really nice job. If you want to turn this thing inside out, you can make it look like an original TI game cartridge. Now it looks like we have here is just basically an instruction manual. I'm not going to open this up right now because, well, I just don't feel like doing it. And basically talks about compatibility right here, that it will work with pretty much any TI-99, including ones with the 2.2, which is normally a lockout chip. So that's kind of nice as well. But let's take a look at the game. Now what's really impressing me is that the game cartridge feels no heavier or anything than an original game. So let's open this thing up here.
And see, he's giving us an extra decal here. Actually, whoa, there's a bunch of decals. What's behind here? Oh, very, very nice. So this is, again, what you would have gotten on your original TI, but later in its years, they did kind of change the label. So he kind of made you a label for both. That's kind of nice. And then he's got an original cartridge here. I assume it's been a repurposed cartridge, but it doesn't feel excessively heavy. Now people are saying, well, it's just, you know, full motion video, but he had to put something in here for the better sound. I mean, the TI's got a nice sound chip for its era, but to play actual music and sound from the Laserdisc, I don't know if it was capable. But here's the actual command module. So let's now just take this and put it into my TI and see if this thing works. Okay, it's always good when your computer actually turns on, and actually when you have a TI-99 4A, you actually want a blue screen. Unlike Microsoft, where blue screens are a bad thing. In case you can see here, this is not my original TI. My original TI I still have safely tucked away. So this one here is one I've modified with an F18A a video enhancer, which basically allows you to connect your TI directly to a VGA monitor, and this TV does support that. You can see on the side I do have a speech synthesizer and an expansion pack, but I'm going to take them off because they're not actually needed to run this cartridge supposedly. It'll run on a stock 16K TI. So let's find out. I'm going to turn this thing off. I'm going to unplug my speech synthesizer module here. There we go. So right now I have a completely stock TI. So hopefully we turn it on and we get a screen. It's always good when you get a screen, right? And we do. So that's very good. So the next thing I'm going to do is put in this cartridge. Now normally you should be able to slide these in. The TI doesn't let you slide these games in while it's on. But I don't know if I want to do that with this one. I'm not sure what he used in here. So I'm going to actually turn it off one more time. Put the game cartridge in. You can still do that. And when it comes up, it says press any key to begin. Now the funny part is, back in the day, people go, well, which is any key? I don't know which any key to press. Totally serious. Okay, so we'll hit space bar, and we have our basic, we have joystick version of Dragon's Lair, or we have keyboard. Now I'm going to use a joystick, because I have right here an Amiga Corporation, yes, the same company that made the Amiga computer. They made this little power stick, and it's a great little stick if you can find this. Just going to turn the volume up a little bit. Pull up a chair, and we're going to start some Dragon's Lair. So while I start this and get my chair ready, let's pick the joystick version and see the introduction.
Dragon's Lair, the fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon. You control the actions of a daring adventurer finding his way through the castle of a dark wizard who has enchanted with treacherous monsters and obstacles. In the mysterious caverns below the castle, your odyssey continues against the awesome forces that oppose your efforts to reach the Dragon's Lair. Lead on, adventurer. Your quest awaits.
That still absolutely blows me away. Now, it obviously is grainy. It's not like a 3DO version or the Jaguar or later versions where it's like high definition. The other problem is no matter what kind of video we have in here, there's still only so much bandwidth on the ports to move these frames. So it is grainy, but unlike the Timex Sinclair 1000, this has color and it has the soundtrack. The Timex Sinclair 1000 version, or the Sinclair 81 version, I should say, was only black and white, not even grayscale. Simply black pixels on or white pixels off, and there was no sound. So let's start this thing up here and give it a try. Again, I am not good at Dragon's Lair. I never have been, but I'm going to give it a try. So let's see here. Hints off. I'm going to put hints on because, again, I'm not good at this game. Difficulty, I'm going to leave it easy. And the sequence, I'm actually going to do the arcade because it's the arcade version of Dragon's Lair, right? So it says press the fire button to be in the game, and that's what I'm going to do. Oh, that's how I play this game. Oh man, I am so not good at this game. Oh, I hit the sword. Oh no, no! Oh, I think it may be done. Game over. That is about how well I played. I'm going to try it one more time because that just went too fast. And I will say, even though it's a movie and not a game, your heart races. For some reason, this game just makes your heart pace. But let's try this again. Same thing. Hints are on. And that was easy. Oh my God, I hate to see what hard's going to be. And my understanding is the different levels just allows for a little more time for when you hit your function. But man, I'm still bad. And we'll do the sequence at arcade. So let's try it one more time. Oh, come on! I had that! Man, you don't even get a microsecond. Man, that was 2 games in already. Okay, one more time. I will say that it's very fun, but man, if this is the easy level, I probably never would have survived. Actually, I know I didn't survive the arcade game. I did terrible in it. This was definitely one of those machines that ate quarters like mad. might be better playing this with a joystick that's only 4 directions. Maybe that's part of my problem. If I'm not going exactly right or left, and it's misreading my presses. I am trying to compensate for how bad I play, so I'm trying to blame the joystick. After I just said how good this joystick is. Man. Well, I have to say, it is a very fun game and also so frustrating. I definitely think that a 4-way joystick may have helped. That joystick is very, very good, but I think sometimes it may have been reading a slightly different direction. But I'm not going to lie, I pressed the wrong direction quite a few times as well. I think that he did a fantastic job with this port. Now, sadly, he only had the rights to make this until March 31st of 2019, so he's not able to produce any more. But if you happen to see one come up on an auction, it might be a little expensive. I paid $95 for this shipped, and I really do think it was worth every penny. I think he did a really phenomenal job. I do hope one day he can make Space Ace. He pretty much said already that he wouldn't. This was kind of really it. But I take my hat off to him. It's a very fun game. If you happen to ever see this available, pick it up. Or, of course, if you never knew about Dragon's Lair beforehand and saw it for the first time in this video, find out by getting it maybe for your cell phone, DVD version. You can still get those pretty much everywhere. Use the remote control on your DVD player. But the best way would be on a console, like a Wii, Wii U, Xbox, PlayStation, something along those lines. It's a very, again, fun, challenging game, to say the least. I wanted to thank you all for watching this episode of Glen's Retro Show. If you did like it, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and remember, game on.
at the Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.
With a key. The dragon keeps it around his neck. To slay the dragon, use the magic sword.
Hey, Dirk! Whoa, this is not my place to be.